Welcome back to the Ben Mulroney Show, and welcome back to This Week in Politics. Guys, I want to just read the first line from Stephen Chase. Is one of his most recent. He's very busy writing a lot of stuff about our prime minister out in Asia. But in his Globe and Mail article entitled "Carney Tries to Reassure Canadians After Trump Threatens a 10% Tariff Hike," he says, Mark Carney said he stands ready to resume trade negotiations with the U.S. and tried to reassure Canadians that he's taking steps to shore up the country's economy after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to hike tariffs by another 10%. Over the weekend, or on Friday, I put out a suggestion that one of the reasons the president had such a problem with the Ontario ads using Ronald Reagan's words against Donald Trump's use of tariffs was because he feels that he needs a boogeyman because he thinks that he might lose at the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court is going to rule whether or not he has this tariff power. And so he needs to start preparing the ground for if he loses. He needs to have somebody to point to and say they cheated. That's my theory. We'll see if it bears out. However, when he, for no reason, decides he might want to levy another 10% tariff, don't you think that hurts his case by being arbitrary with this rule, just deciding willy-nilly, I don't like you, 10% tariff, when there is no good faith argument for why today 10%, why yesterday not 10%? Doesn't that fly in the face of the judicious use of tariffs?
Well, Ben, I can't wait to see Donald Trump's lawyers argue before the United States Supreme Court that an ad by a province in Canada is a case of national security and national emergency, because that is why that's how Donald Trump has justified putting all these tariffs on. So I really look forward to how they will twist themselves into a pretzel. Let's be clear on this ad, Ben. First of all, China used that exact same video back in April of 2025, using Ronald Reagan's words, the exact same video. Second point, 3 days before Donald Trump had a tissy fit like a toddler, he actually said he saw the ad and that he would probably do the same thing. So I just think he didn't have his milk and honey on Friday morning, and he had a conniption. And to the point of Mark Carney, he's got to figure out what the hell he's going to tell Canadians, because last week he was saying that there's no deal coming, we're far away from a deal. Today, in his closing press conference in Malaysia, he said, we were so close to a deal and it's all Doug Ford's fault. He's got to pick a lane. It's either we're close to a deal or we're not close to a deal, because right now we have no idea what the hell he's doing.
All right, Max Fawcett, you get another kick at the can, my friend.
Much appreciated. Yeah, I don't know about him saying that it was Doug Ford's fault. I think those two are thick as thieves on this issue. But, I think your theory is pretty good, Ben, that this is cover for Trump knowing he's going to lose the court case around these tariffs, and he needs someone to blame. Ironically, him putting these tariffs on for this reason apparently makes that court case even more likely to lose. Apparently, the lawyers for the opposed to the government were rewriting their briefs after they saw that. So, he continues to dig his own holes. But I think Carney's doing the right thing here. You can't respond to this sort of tantrum, right? You just got to let it play out, let it calm down, and be open to him coming back to the table when he inevitably does. This is what Trump does. He panics, he freaks out, he hits the fire alarm, and then a week later, it's like it never happened.
Yeah, and maybe that's it, Dimitri. Maybe the play here is to slow play it, to rag the puck, and wait for what we hope is a loss at the Supreme Court, which will severely circumscribe this man's ability to do the things he's been doing, and therefore he'll be forced to renegotiate from a far weaker position. I don't know. I mean, it's a big gamble. It's a big bet. You have to really hope that the Supreme Court that he stacked with his hand-picked judges goes against his wishes. But if we do that and it goes the way we want, it could be a huge payoff for us, don't you think?
It can be. There's another huge payoff, by the way. What most people don't talk about, and maybe the federal government doesn't want us to talk about it, is let's play this out. Let's say there's no deal. 2026, based on the last CUSMA deal, we have to renegotiate. If any party chooses to withdraw from CUSMA, it's not immediate. CUSMA expires then in 2036. which means between 2026 and 2036, nothing prevents a future American administration or a future Canadian government to say, let's get back at the table to negotiate, given that the toddler is now out of the White House.
Okay. All right. Listen, so fingers crossed.
Sorry, I you know what, Ben? Sorry, I can't not say things like he behaves like a toddler.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the days of Irish eyes are smiling when Brian Mulroney and Ronald Reagan negotiated a free trade agreement. When we built upon that trade agreement, he decided unilaterally to break that friendship, to break that pact.
Yep.
They are no longer our best friends, most reliable neighbors. Therefore, we have no other choice but to diversify in a way that we have never thought that we can do before.
Yeah.
And to all those on social media that are another bunch of toddlers complaining about Doug Ford, that this is why the negotiations broke off and Doug Ford killed the negotiations. Sorry, I call bovine scatology.
Yeah. Well, look, I had Warren Kinsella on the show, and as somebody who knows sort of the inner workings of a PMO and understands the back and forth between premiers' offices and the prime minister's office, he said there's no way that an ad like this gets run by a province without it first running by the PMO. He says there's no way. It does not happen. So this doesn't happen unless Mark Carney's office at least in some capacity signs off on it. So those are people looking for excuses and I think simple answers where the simplest answer is this guy's just he doesn't play by any rules and he's a bad faith actor. And there are some, Max, that would say that had the Americans just voted for Kamala Harris, we wouldn't be having these issues. And she is now suggesting that she's not done with elected office and she may run. Why don't we listen to a little bit of Kamala Harris on the BBC?
When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you? Possibly. Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done.
In my experience interviewing politicians, when someone says I'm not done, it means they are thinking seriously about running. But when you look at the bookies' odds, they put you as an outsider, even behind Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, is that underestimating you?
I think there are all kinds of polls that will tell you a variety of things. I've never listened to polls. If I listened to polls, I would have not run for my first office or my second office. And I certainly wouldn't be sitting here in this interview.
All right, so this is the final question I will put to both of you. Max, you get it first. If Kamala Harris ends up being the Democratic nominee in the next election, what are her chances of winning, and what does that say about the Democratic Party?
Well, I don't think she will. I think her odds of winning are probably the same as they were last time, maybe a little better. But it says very bad things about the Democratic Party. I don't think there's a realistic shot that she's the nominee. They're going to have a robust primary, which is what they needed in 2024, and they didn't have, and it's part of why they lost. But they're going to have a robust primary with lots of candidates. Boy, I hope The Rock runs. That would be fantastic. But, as many new faces as possible, because that's what the Democrats need. They've been stuck in this sort of post-Obama hangover for a while now with, Biden and Harris and Clinton, and they just need some new voices. Yeah. Maybe that's AOC, maybe that's The Rock. I don't know, but they need to try something different, and I think they will. So
Dimitri,
best of luck to Miss Harris, but she's not going to get it.
Dimitri, 20 seconds to you.
Not even. I hope she lies down and the feeling will go away.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I always love chatting with you. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.